house, you're gonna get your privileges I have before, and I mean, you just gonna need to forgive me. That's the end of that. Matter of fact, I don't even want to come back right now. I'm gonna come back in. You out of your mind? You done messed up. The scriptures say you got to seek the Lord 10 times more. You got to cleave onto him. So you're not coming, that come as ye are spirit is off. The Most High is not interested in you coming as you are. You got to come as he wants you to appear before him. If you get summoned to go to court, you go there as you are. If you some look, man, even the most wildest hoodlum who goes around, he ain't even sagging his pants. You know, you got some jakes where they got their pants on their knees, and that's where the belt is, and it puts their kneecaps together, and they just be walking like that and shit. You know what I mean? You see boxer shorts, hairy ass legs, and then the jeans, and then they got the hat to the side with a fucking tank top shirt. You know what I mean? And they walk, yo, that was good, my nigga. You know, even that dude gets summoned to jail. This guy gonna come in here. He might find one of big ass suits his uncle used to wear and shit. Hey, yes, Your Honor. You know what I mean? So you don't come before the judge as you are. Because if you came there as you are, they're gonna skip the trial and throw your ass under the prison. Right. So you don't even go there as you are. When you go to work, you don't go as you are. If your work has a uniform policy, you're not going there in a white beater and some trunks and some flip flops. Oh, I'm coming as I am. So why is it that when you come to the Lord, you want to come as you are? No, you come as the Lord requires you, because the Most High is the highest authority. It's interesting how for lower conditions, people give more respect than when it comes to dealing with the Most High. When it comes to the Most High's name, when it comes to what He requires of you, people, they could care less. But anything else, they'll put more importance over it. And that's why the Lord is going to bring judgment upon the earth, because people need to learn the fear of the Lord. What?
Second Ezra chapter 5, verse 12. At that same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain.
And what are they going to hope for? They're going to hope for peace. Oh, there's a scripture that says that, right? They shall seek peace and there shall be none. You know, they're going to hope for a way out, but they're not going to get it. That's the Most High ain't going to give them that. The destruction is going to come forth. The scriptures say that they shall seek peace and there shall be none. And then there's another scripture that says, let judgment run down as waters. So imagine like a tsunami, like the water just raises up. There ain't no way around that. That tsunami is not going to dissolve and come back down. No. This ain't going to be no beach style. It's not going to come in and just die right there. No, this joint is going to come up and it's going to land and swallow this whole city. So if you're standing at the beach and you see that tsunami go up so high like a freaking Manhattan skyscraper, there's literally no way you're going to be able to outrun that tsunami. You can't run. You might as well just run into it.
Ain't surfing.
You definitely ain't surfing on it. And that shit is coming with alligators and sharks and all types of piranha, whatever it is. It's coming with some shit, So, and you see that, right? Whenever there's like a flood, all of a sudden you have the water starts rising. Then all these buildings, people start going to the roof of the building. But the water comes up so high that if you're not careful, it starts to come even up onto the roof. Then here it is, you start seeing little swivels inside of the water, and then you see scales and shit. Next thing you know, there's a whole alligator on, next to you and shit. Because you can hear them, that video you sent me where the alligator tried to catch the zebra and he missed it and he got mad as shit. Yo, this alligator timed everything right, and he just missed that launch and the zebra escaped. You can see the alligator so mad, he smacked the water and shit. I'm like, damn, the alligator's getting man. And he turned around, but in this time, they ain't gonna be like that. It's gonna be like them Tarzan movies. All you see is them yellow eyes and shit, and their heads just pop out the water. You look to your right, there's something. Your left, there's something. Now here it is, they're coming to feast. Judgment is coming. See, at that time, people ain't gonna have foolish thoughts. They're not gonna want to ask a million questions. Oh, what do you mean judgment is coming? Ain't nobody can judge me but me. When that time comes, people are gonna want to get in line. They're gonna want opportunity to repent. But the Lord is gonna take that away.
I just want to say, don't sleep on like alligators. Them animals are smart.
That's what they
yeah, that's in Africa. But I'm talking about like in here. I remember seeing a video of like some I'm guessing it's Edomites. They were by some lake just fishing. And like even it took me a while to notice it, but you see like an alligator or crocodile, whatever it is, slowly swimming up to him. And the way it blended into the water, you couldn't see it till the pop's like, yeah, watch out, watch out. Then I was like, what? Then you see like, oh shit, it's right there. But like he's slowly creeping up on them. So you gotta be careful with animals, man. Them animals are smart.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, clearly they got a brain, but people forget that. You know, they don't look like humans, so people think animals are just some. I don't know. They exist without a brain. An alligator knows how to. If alligator needs to get food, the same way you go to your kitchen and open it up and cook, that alligator knows. Well, I see you, and I need to get you. So they're gonna use their God-given skills, stealth mode. They're very good at. Why do you think the alligators really dwell in like murky waters? Because they can blend in easily. When you look at the way their skin is made up, you know, and you notice they don't just pop up their whole body. They pop up their head, mad tiny. You might think it's a rock, and then they open up their eyes and they look at you. And under that water is a big ass man. I saw a video of I think in Florida, there was an alligator, and then they got the alligator, they tied it up, and they threw it onto the back of the pickup truck. And before they before they closed the back of the pickup truck, I don't know what the officer was doing. I don't know, he went to look at the shit or whatever. That thing swung his tail and knocked him out. Yeah, it just.
Oh, hey, did y'all see the video where it was like a bunch of Hamites? They was taking pictures sitting on top of the alligator, and like then the whole family got to get a picture. And when there was the last person to go for taking a shot with it, they clamped on. It was a female too.
Of course.
They clamped on because she was the only one that took a picture in front of it with a mouth is at. Everybody else was on top of it. She wanted to get extra and get right on front of it, grabbed her hand and didn't let go.
That's it.
Death row. You know that death row they do when they spin?
Yeah. Twisting your joint off.
Yeah. Them things is powerful. They apex predators.
Oh yeah.
And they can run. Trust me, I seen this. They can run.
You want them and them freaking Komodo dragons, man. Don't mess with a Komodo dragon, man.
Yeah,
that thing will do something to you. You know, that thing will do something to you. But I was watching this was years ago on they used to have this, so the same channel they used to show Animal Planet, they used to have this TV show called Untamed and Uncut. Yeah. And basically they would show incidents of like, you know, animal attacks on people. And there was one where you had this this dude, I don't know, he was doing like a zoo trick or whatever. And he basically like, you know, the alligator got his mouth open. A crocodile and the alligator got his mouth open. And then, you know, they'll put their hand in there, pull their hand out. My man's went to put his head up in there. Now the creature was just there, just quiet. He's like, yeah, I'll wait. I know you're stupid enough. I'll wait. So my man's put his hand in there. He didn't move. He pulled his hand out. He smacked the top and everything. The alligator's quiet. He's waiting and shit. This nigga said, all right, now the final trick. Let me put my head. He said, all right, come here. And he literally, and like the brother said, they don't come down slowly. Man, this ain't a Venus flytrap. They come down with force, and a freaking alligator's teeth are sharp, and the force. I forgot I forgot how much force it is when they actually close. But when they close, it's impossible to try and pry their snout or whatever open.
Remember, them things muscle. Them things is not
right.
Like that. So when it comes out, it's coming out powerful, locking you. And then when they do the death roll, they have you.
You're done. Yeah, you're done. And they twisted that. But he was able to get out. I mean, Lord have mercy, but he was damaged. He was damaged goods. You know?
It seems like symbolic to how majority of the people of this planet tempts the Lord. Like, you know, you sticking your head in the alligator's mouth is symbolic to how y'all out here going off a whim and not taking heed to precaution. And the Lord like, oh, seriously? Oh, you want to just hear that and walk right by? Boom, smacked by a Mack truck. You know, and still live, right? You know, you get people like the girl in Newark, she just playing with a gun, 13 years old, shot herself, critical condition. You know what I mean? And Lord knows what that judgment was about, but it happened. You know, people would say, okay, that was an innocent girl. You can't blame the Lord for that. How you can't blame the Lord for that?
Yeah, Job and you got something?
Yeah, I had a quick precept.
All right, we bring that out. Can you hold since you mentioned that John 9, not John 9 and 1.
Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Now, this is not talking about us who are hastening the return of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This is talking about those that don't know. All right, you got these so-called Christians that, I mean, because they desire the day of the Lord in word, but not in deed. So that's why it says the day of the Lord is darkness and not light, because they don't know what's really coming. I don't know what they expect. They expecting Cesare Borgia to come down on a cloud like Goku, you know what I'm saying, and come and just love everybody and shit. That's not happening. A lot of people don't even expect destruction when the Lord comes in. He's gonna come, he's gonna take his people up, and then the Antichrist is gonna come down for 7 years, it's gonna be a war, and then those that are faithful at the end of that, they're gonna get taken up. Okay.
Real quick point, because one of my families in the Seventh-day Adventist church, right? And they always be sending me the pamphlets trying to convert me.
Oh my God.
So I read one of them. That shit was jokes, bro. Talking about, they said that in the kingdom of heaven, they're gonna have tanks gathered around them, and they're gonna try to take down the kingdom of heaven. Shit is madness, bro.
Oh my God.
Shit is madness, bro. Like, do you not understand what the kingdom of heaven is? That's immortality,
Right,
like
right.
untouchable. Like, they're not gonna be, but you know, that goes to show it wasn't given to them.
Yeah, they lost. And there's always Edomites on. If you look at like the Jehovah's Witness, for example, their little pamphlets, there's always Edomites. Some Edomite boy with his parents or some shit. Some Edomite girl sitting under an apple tree in the tall grass somewhere in a line, walking like half walking by and shit. And then they got actual rivers of milk and honey. It's not literal. You know what I mean? But they actually think that. They actually think, man, we're gonna need some milk. You want some coffee? Just go to the river, get some milk and all that shit. And they actually imagine that. Who the hell would want to be there? What are you gonna do for all eternity? You're gonna sit under a tree and pet lions and shit? That's not fun. I mean, in that case, you might as well just stay on the earth. You go to the, you know what I'm saying? You go into the spirit world just to do what? You know? Apples and milk and honey, that's it.
There's gonna be spirits floating around.
Yeah.
Nobody, just a light.
Yeah,
That's
just a ball of light. And I heard that before. Somebody said there ain't gonna be no gender, there ain't gonna be nothing. We all just gonna be. First they said there ain't gonna be no gender. We just gonna be brothers and sisters. How do you have brothers and sisters and no gender? You know, yo, man, these people, they come up with ridiculously unbelievable fables, and yet they believe it. You know,
Like some Scientology bullshit.
yeah. That's why, as the brother's reading, it says, "Woe unto you," because you have no idea what's in store for you. And that's why it says when the Yahweh Shai comes back, there's going to be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Amos 5:19. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him.
So this is describing what it's going to be like when the Lord returns. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. Now, a lion is a predator, the king of the jungle, very dangerous, a life-threatening creature, you know? And them lions are big, okay? A lion is freaking huge. You're not Samson. Don't try to pull the Samson or the King David. And, the scriptures say that, I'm gonna see the lion. I'm gonna turn into Tarzan and shit. You know, I'm gonna see the lion. I'm gonna call down the spiritual power of some Samson shit and try to wrestle this lion. You're not coming back. You're gonna be in the spirit world because obviously if you're the elect, the scriptures say that the Lord we're gonna be at peace with the beasts of the field. But let somebody else can see. The scriptures talk about how the Lord said He's gonna laugh at their calamities, and He's gonna do that through us. You know, He's gonna have certain situations, certain judgments go out that is not really funny, but it's just gonna be funny because it's gonna be a recompense for their wicked ways. You know, and a lion is huge. When that thing freaking at the head of a lion, man, shit. When the lion puts its weight on you, you're not getting back up. All right. Even if they try to play with you and they're not careful, a freaking cat. If a cat tries to play with you and it's not careful, can scratch the shit out you. How much more for a lion with them big ass paws and shit? When they hit you with that, you know, it looks light on TV, right? The lions, they fighting and shit, they clawing each other. Watch that joint back in slow motion and look at how much force they hit and scratch with. And tear half of your face off.
You know, safari trips, I laugh at them all the time. Because I'm like, why are you going into that animal's habitat thinking shit is sweet? They territorial. Like, your smell alone just causes them to feel threatened. So, in turn, they're going to respond with defense, like ward off any type of potential danger. So, the man who recently just got attacked by a group of lions. He's in their vicinity, and it's like people shooting at the lions and everything, yelling, and the lions is like, he's food, forget him. They taking shots and everything. Yo, they grab him by his head. He's like, he tried to play dead, and then when they move off because all the gunfire, they take a few steps away, but they like, nah, this our food. Y'all not getting it. Yo, he wakes up and try to act like he's trying to get away, and the lion just pounced on him and grabbed with a death kill. It was like it grabbed his whole skull. That's how big their mouth is. The whole skull fitted in his head. One, two heavy presses of the jaws. He was done, lifeless. His body was done. You know how cats? I got a cat in my house. I know how they try to when they kill, they prey. They play with it. They bounce it around like that or whatever. They did that with a human being. Was playing with him at first, and then the kill shot was when he clamped down on his head. But the thing is, the safari trips, they put you on a vehicle that's damn near unprotected.
Exposed,
it's exposed. So you asking to be, you asking for it, man. You're not, y'all walking around in this world, y'all asking for it, man. Y'all fleshly beings, our bodies is easy to be just destroyed with the simple thing, man. A simple trip and fall or hit by a car. So you should be prayed up. You should be asking the Lord for protection every day, like as we do.
You might stay fucking with animals. Oh, hell yeah. Where they shouldn't. You seen the video? The dude had to deal with the shark. He puts his hand in, messing with the shark, and he ripped his pinky off. Oh, like, oh shit, I lost my pinky. Like, nigga, that ain't your phone.
Pinky.
Yeah, he said it like he lost his phone or something. Nigga, you lost your pinky. You can't get that shit back.
It was like a clean slice of butter, a knife through butter, a hot knife through butter. The way he took his pinky.
Oh, shit, I lost my pinky.
Yeah, because he knew it was gone. He's like, oh, they're gonna pinky.
Yeah.
A nip to it to say, and it was gone.
Other video, this devil came out. It was like a lion in a cage, and he goes in to try to look at the lion's shit. Like, I don't know what he was doing. He was like examining it. You know, Esau always doing the most. And then he tried to run back into the cage. The lion caught him, dragged him. Like, oh my God, crying and shit.
You know, it was in India or something.
See, that's not. I think it was an Edomite, but it's funny. Yeah, what the scriptures say, hey, we will laugh at their calamity, man. Right. The Lord is laughing in the heavens.
Right.
Terrifying, but it's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, because first off, a prudent man will not be in a cage with him. I don't give a damn how much you're trying to pay me.
Right.
All right. You ain't paying me life. I'm not. Why would? For what reason do I need to be in the cage with a lion that's awake, knowing what a lion is capable of? For what? I'm all right. I'll stay right here because you notice Jake. You don't ever see Jake doing that shit unless they get caught in an unfortunate situation. If that lion comes for them, that's a different story. But if they go, you ain't gonna see Jake doing that. You know. Now, I know in like a lot of Elamite cities, you have a lot of like lepers and shit that be going up into the cities and tearing people up. There was a video actually I saw of I think it was a leopard that came into the neighborhood and it killed somebody's dog. It literally just pulled up and you can see it quiet as shit because they're very stealthy. Those leopards are very, very stealthy. And nobody suspects a leopard to be inside of a freaking building. All you know is that shit grabs the dog, that's it, the dog was done. And like you were saying, the bar, they go for the jugular or like, yeah, those vital because they need to cut off your oxygen. You notice a lot of lions, when they pin you down, they go for that point, that chokehold. And you're done. A lion's teeth, when it sinks into you, you are done, my man. You're done, Sal. Hey, you're done. Lights out. So back to the precept we were reading. As if a man didn't see from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So you flee from a lion and then you go meet a bear. Both of these are pretty terrifying creatures, you know? So you just escaped, or you just narrowly escaped from a lion. Whether you went and he met you and you turned around and you just made it, whether he was chasing you for a good mile or so, and you, whatever, and lions are pretty fast too. A lot of these people, man, first off, if somebody's decent average speed, they can't keep that speed up for long. They can only keep it up for from damn near 2 blocks. Lions are used to hunting, so they're used to chasing their prey. Now, they do have that sudden burst of energy, which runs out after some time, but they run more than you. You know what I mean?
And the scriptures say that they're gonna be changing their places. So you're gonna see some wild animals, especially in them. You have certain areas where they're used to seeing like bears and shit pulling up. You know, there's been numerous videos of bears chasing families into their house. You know, and there was one who had the little dog. There it is. The bear's coming and they running into the house. Then the dog gonna turn around and try to act tough. And then when the bear comes, then he's gonna want to run inside the crib. It's a little ass dog, like a Chihuahua looking dog. What the hell are you gonna do against the bear? But the point is, you're gonna run from one life-threatening situation that you just narrowly escaped and run right into another one. And if you manage to escape that, you're gonna run right into another one that you're not expecting. Right? Just when you think you got relief, just when you think that you're safe, you lean your hand on the wall and the serpent bit him, because a serpent, when the serpents attack, they attack stealth. A lion, he can look at you and still get you. A bear, he can look at you, and bears are pretty fast too. There was a video of a guy riding a bike, and there was a bear chasing him in the woods. And that shit was still, it was, man, it almost got him. His dumb ass got off the bike, but he hit. No, because he was riding mad fast and shit. And he turns around, this shit was coming and shit. And then he got to a certain point, because you know it's in the forest. So there was like a big ass log in the way. I mean, do some fucking BMX shit and jump over the log. This nigga said, all right, fuck this, because his mind wasn't working right. He threw the bike and started running and shit. And then, I mean, he got lucky because he found like some trees and shit, and he just like he just held his breath and hit. And you can see like where that black car is, where the bear was at, and it was just looking around, and and he spotted it. But if it spotted him, that would have been, he would have been on the news. So them bears are dangerous. When a bear kills you, it mauls you. That's what they say. Because you see a bear stand up, a bear is tall. You know what I'm saying? But you run from one, you run from the other. But the serpent, you don't see it coming. They're very stealthy, you know. And then boom, it bites you, and at that point you got. That venom is going to coagulate your blood. You're going to die. All right, if you don't get no help. But in Jacob's trouble, it's not going to be like, oh, take him to the nearest clinic or emergency call. What is that? Mount Sinai, them ambulance, and they come in. That's not happening in Jacob's trouble. If you get bit by a snake and you by yourself, you're going to die. Unless the Lord is with you, you know, like the Apostle Paul. But you ain't the Apostle Paul, you know, so more likely than none, there's going to be judgments going out that people are going to be left to just lay there. Eventually you get paralyzed and you just die a slow, painful death. Ain't nobody can help you. Those are the realities that people are going to be facing in these times. And it's going to be real, man. You look, because famines and, you know, lights out and actual humans, you know, somebody murdering you, these are all different types of violence. But you also have violence from wild animals. That's going to be happening. That was it on there, right? One more verse, okay?
Amos 5:20. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it?
And that's what's coming. So people are expecting an happy day. That's not going. Well, it's going to be a happy day, but it's also going to be a sad day. 2 Ezra 13 tells you that. When the Lord came, there was a great multitude. Some were glad, some were sad, some were bound. You know. So that's what's going. The Lord is going to come with great fear and terror. Revelation 1:7, and all eyes are going to see the Lord, and some are not going to know what they're looking at. They're going to see a big, huge chat, because most of the time they'll see like a ball of light, but it's very, very far away. So it's easy to say, oh, that's a drone. Oh, that's this. Oh, I mean, it's something, but I don't know what it is. But to see the Lord's chariot, it had to be close, and it had to be huge for Ezra to describe it the way he did in the book of 2 Ezra. So you hearing the sound of this chariot, you're seeing the chariot. Imagine the sound it makes when it lets out a laser beam. A chariot of that magnitude, of that size. And because, you know, with energy, it powers up and it builds it up. And as you described, he said tempest and fire and all these things together, lightnings and all of that. There's all concentrated energy, and then boom. That's why the earth is going to be shaking to and fro. So it's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be a scary thing. That's why it says a day of darkness and not light. Where were we before that? Second. Oh, John 9, right? Because you had mentioned people say that, oh, you know, like the individual that got judged, oh, you know, they would just, you know, whatever, they didn't do nothing wrong, they would just, no. The Most High is not wicked. He's not He's not wicked, he's righteous. Now, evil can be righteous under the right circumstances. Violence can be righteous under the right circumstances. When you break the law, there's certain laws that are on to death. And when you put somebody to death, it's a violent act, but it's a righteous act. So people, people get caught up, they get messed up in that, and they don't realize, yo, hold on. I asked somebody that came up when this is like maybe a couple months ago. You had that so-called, the Amalekite woman, so-called Amalekite woman. She came up and then she had her friends on the phone. And I asked them, is killing evil? I forgot, but it was something to that effect. Because they were trying to say, oh, well, killing, evil and all that, because there was that confusion between murder and killing. When people get confused, there's two different things right there. Murder is different because murder is with intent. But what about killing? Because the Most High, what about, you got people that they never think about these things, and they always go around saying this, that, and the third. A lot of different books give penalties and judgments for going off, right? Stone them, you got to burn them to death, you got to kill them. So are the people who are carrying out the judgment murderers? They're following the commandments, aren't they not? So judgment, you have a form of judgment, and then you have a form of murder. If the person didn't do something that is worthy of death according to the law, and you put them to death, that is murder, you're going off.
Yeah, you can do that. Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity.
He's in the midst thereof. So just like the bar said, you got a lot of people that are tempting the Lord. That's exactly what they're doing. They're tempting the Lord. The equivalent of eating pork, when you're being told, there was a video that the elder Manat Zakba did, and it was of these women that were basically saying, look, you telling us not to do this is pretty much going to make us do it even more. They had that song playing, We Do Not Care. And then she was eating the shrimp and all that, crab, lobster, all those things on video. Oh, y'all talking about the Bible says this. I don't
know. In Hebrew, Israelite something like being claiming not to eat pork.
And then the reaction was her eating the abominable food, right? The equivalent of that is like the bar said, if an alligator has his mouth open and you go and you say, all right, you telling me not to do this, watch me. And you go and put your head inside of his mouth. Or maybe you could try it with a hippo. Once again, see it on TV because the camera is pretty far, right? So you see a hippo, oh, look, that looks nice and shit. No, you know how big a hippo, when a hippo opens its mouth, they can freaking fit like 4 watermelons in there easily.
Punch them like if it was popcorn.
Yeah, eat them like grapes. Yeah, exactly. That's how they eat watermelons, whole, like grapes. So what do you think they're going to do to you? Or a freaking rhino. You know how big a rhino is big as shit. And you get little glimpses. You go to the zoo, you're like, damn, this shit, I didn't know this shit. Or what's it? Are those bison? Man, them creatures are freaking, and they got the big ass head and shit, man. Let one of them chase your ass.
They're fast too.
Yeah, they're fast too. People don't take into account. People are so stupid, man. And a lot of people are really just very, very uneducated. They're very ignorant. Basic questions they don't know. Simple calculations they don't run simulations. They don't do anything in their minds. They just walk around with empty heads. Literally, that's what they are. So when they're put in these situations, people are going to be making some very, very horrible decisions. Here it is. There's gunshots coming from the right side, but you're saying let's make a right over here. And you ask, why would you want to make a right when there's gunshots coming from that direction? I don't know. Make a left? No shit, Sherlock. Like, and a lot of people are going to make these decisions that are going to get them killed. But you know why? Because the Most High is going to have angels out here orchestrating these things to bring out judgment. There was a video of a man who, I forgot, I don't know how exactly what his intentions were, but he went into his car. I guess he put the car in something. Maybe he didn't put the emergency brake on or whatever. And he went to the front of the car. He opened up the hood, and then he was trying to do something on there. And then the car just moved on its own and crushed his ass. And then the woman came in there, and I'm thinking she's going to back the car in reverse. She just comes and sits in the car and then gets back out. And then comes and sits in again and gets back out. The dude is dead by now. But that's the angels that, angel probably came in his mind and made him forget to set the brake on right, or set something on right. Or even if he did everything right, the angel probably came up in there and said, nope, take that shit off, start that shit, step on the gas all the way. Crush it. Now, we don't know exactly why, but the Most High did it for a reason. Yep.
Sirach 39-28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
So the purpose of these spirits are for vengeance. One,
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
now we're in the time of destruction. So they were created for vengeance. That means they have a creator. So you have spirits that the Most High created specifically for vengeance, which in the time of destruction, it says they pour out their fury. So very soon you're going to have these death angels and these spirits that the Most High created out here bringing out judgment left and right. Because why else were they created? For the time of destruction, right? Why do people make cars? If there was not a need for cars, why would people make cars? Right. What?
Fire and hail and famine and death.
And that's what's coming. People, you see, people are living regular lives, but they don't realize that we're coming into that time where these judgments are going to be happening to them. As it says, fire and hail, go on.
And famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
For vengeance, right? For these wicked deeds that these people commit. So the Lord is bringing these various judgments, not for show. He's not bringing it just to scare you or show you these things. No, that's why we're here, to explain to you, hey, look, get right or this is going to happen to you. But when it actually happens, you ain't going to get no second chance at that point. Huh?
Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
So like we were saying, there's going to be so many different forms of judgment out here. Wild animals, scorpions. You have people that have a great fear of these kinds of reptiles. You know, people that fear roaches. Imagine you go into your house and you see a roach the size of your couch. You're like, what the hell is that sound? And then you just see, here it is, you walking in your hallway and you just see the antennas, big ass fucking roach antennas. And you know they have the little hairs that are on them too. And you just see, what the fuck is that? And then you know, they got the little mouths that be going like that. A roach is there, it's not dangerous when it's small, but it got a mouth. When the mouth is damn near the size of your head, then it's dangerous. You see this big ass roach cut the corner and look at you. The Lord said that he's gonna manifest your fears upon you. In high school, I had somebody tell me that she was afraid of feet. I said, of everything in the world, what are you afraid of? She said, feet. I said, feet. You got all wild animals, you got all types of shit out here. Your biggest fear is feet. Yeah, how you put socks on? I don't look. I just don't look down. All right. But the most time might have you die by it. You might have people with dirty ass feet just keep stomping in your face or some shit. I don't know. You know? That's a feet. Like I don't know if you ever watched Penguins of Madagascar. You had that little oh, it was a lemur or some shit. His name was Bort. This nigga was obsessed with the king's feet. This nigga, I mean, this dude, he could be fucking 10 miles down. If this nigga lifts up his feet, he's gonna fly like a rocket and just attach to his feet. He had like a foot fetish or some shit, you know. But anyway, the Lord said he's gonna make your fears manifest. The Most High created you. He knows literally how to terrify you to your core, to where you would give up the ghost, but he will make sure that the ghost stays inside of your body. You don't mess with the Most High. He's not called a king of terror for no reason. The word terror came from the Most High. Anything you can imagine, he put it in your mind. So anything you can imagine, trust me, there's something much worse out there. There's some fears that you don't even know you fear.
Sirach 39-31, they shall rejoice in his commandment.
So don't expect mercy from death angels, because death angels weren't designed to have mercy, or else they wouldn't be called death angels. They would be called mercy angels. Okay? Death angels weren't designed to have sympathy. They weren't designed to have any feelings at your tears. That's why you may have certain situations where you see somebody and they look like they just lame. They got no spirit. They just going around just killing. And you see crying, they're killing babies, women, and all of that. And it's like they're possessed, because that's a death angel on them. So you can't get through to the actual individual because he ain't there. It's like in Get Out, when they try to take over what's his name, Chris, they try to take over his body. He was in the sunken place, so he could hear and see what's going on, but he couldn't control it. He wasn't in control. That's how the death angels, when they take over you, go into the sunken place, and the death angel comes in control. He's the captain now. So that death angel is going around. He may look like your husband. He may look like your son. He may look like somebody you know. But he's not functioning. You calling his name, he ain't answering. He just coming up to you. He got his, oh, there was a video of somebody in a bank trying to take out money. And you just see this Jake. Jake just pulls up.
Wild B, he flew right into the fire.
That's a very wild B.
I'm rebellious. We talking about the rebellious of our people, and this B just symbolized it by flying into the fire.
All the smoke. but so my man comes in there with a hatchet, and he comes in there. I mean, he doesn't know the dude. He just walks in there, turns around, he sees the guy, he gets to work. Boom, 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 chops him up a bit, and then he just walks the other way. There was a spirit on him to do that. So, like it says, they rejoice in these things because that's what they're created to do. Got it?
They shall rejoice in his commandment,
and what is his commandment? To put them to death. Ezekiel 9:5. Go on.
And they shall be ready upon earth when need is.
Right, and the need is now, because all the iniquities are climbing up to the heavens. So now you need judgment is how you pay for iniquity. Right, just like when you're in debt, you pay for money. Well, you pay the debts of your iniquity with judgment. Sure.
And it says, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word.
And when their time has come, they shall not transgress his word. So if the commandment is put such and such to them, you think the death angel's gonna come and you're gonna beg him and slip a 20 inside of his garment, and he's gonna go, all right, and then he's gonna transgress the Lord because of you? The scriptures say that the angels tremble in the presence of the Lord. What death angel do you think is gonna go and rebel against the Lord? Even Satan didn't rebel against the Lord. So when they come, the orders that they've been given, that's why you got to fear the Most High, because they work for the Lord. They're doing the commandments of the Lord. So the Lord is the one who can hold them back, or he can give them the green light. And he done already given them a green light for a lot of people. Like how Antiochus had a death angel following him the whole time and he didn't even know, up until he got hit with that plague. The Lord could do that. You're alive and you see freaking worms coming out your body, eating you and shit. Man, you don't want to mess with the Most High, man. Yeah, that was it. Okay, cool. You got something? No, for another thing. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, yeah, so because now the spirit has us going into the judgments of the Lord. So that's what we're going to focus on. Got it. Oh, matter of fact, you get Isaiah 13. Where you?
Just on the phone, but
This is Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity.
So the Most High ain't gonna do iniquity. Everything the Most High does is righteous, but there's a difference between what people call good versus righteous. Okay, the Most High doesn't say that I want you to be this good and kind, and yeah, that's a part of it. But ultimately, you have to be righteous. Righteousness is according to the standards of the Most High. Go
on. He will not do iniquity. Every morning does he bring his judgment to light.
So every morning does he bring his judgment to light. So every morning, really every time of the day, but every morning there's some judgment going out that's sanctioned by the Most High. That's why you hear in the news, oh, this person got stabbed. Oh, there was a casualty over here. Oh, this happened over here. That's the Most High carrying out the judgments, sending out the hits. The scriptures say that the Most High knows that how many hairs are on everybody's head. So trust me, he knows who's getting judged, when they're getting judged, when he wants them to get judged, and how he wants them to get judged. And that's what's going out. That's why you gotta constantly be in prayer, because the Lord might have you on the hit list.
It says he faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame.
Right, he faileth not. So when the judgment is set, it's going to be carried out perfectly. There's no miscalculation. Go on. That's how we do that. All right. Yeah, you got Isaiah 13. You can start.
This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see. Lift ye up.
Which Isaiah 13 is prophetic. It's talking about this modern day Babylon, which is America. Go on.
That's right. Verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
Which that banner represents the scriptures. Because a banner is like a signal, okay, that represents something. And we're lifting up the banner of the Lord, which is the Holy Scriptures, by making it public. Go ahead. And the high mountain represents this government of America. because mountains are symbolic for governments. Sometimes they're literal, but sometimes they're also metaphorical. Go ahead.
Exalt the voice onto them.
And that's what we do.
That's right.
Go on.
Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
And when you shake the hand, in essence, you're like telling them off. All right? You're telling them to their face, you're rebuking them. Okay? Go on. That they may go into the gates of the nobles, which we already did. Because now they don't, because you got brothers on every corner, every street, every state, damn near every country. And so there's no avoiding the prophets anymore. And they already have it. They've had councils and congressional meetings and all of these things, house meetings and all of that about us. Because it's all prophecy. Go on.
I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger.
Which are the angels?
That's right.
Because the scriptures talk about that, right? The angels which excel in strength. Go on.
Even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise, verse 4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms.
And then it goes into the missiles. All right, the noise like a tumultuous people. Go on. That's talking about the missiles. Go on.
Right. Of the kingdom of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Yeah, they just came on a storm.
Yeah. There's going like the scriptures go into. There's going to be a gathering. All right. The Lord said He was going to gather the nations and plead with them over there in Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Lord's judgment. Go on.
They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of His indignation.
Now, real quick, let's go to Isaiah 54 and 16, because we're going to find out what are the weapons of the Lord's indignation, because the spirit of the Lord is going to be in that fire. All right, but they come from a far country. Who comes from a far country? The missiles. That's why they're called intercontinental ballistic missiles, so they can travel from one end of the earth to the other. As a matter of fact, Russia has missiles that can get here in 13 minutes. What are you going to do in 13 minutes?
That's Mach speed.
Yeah.
That's Mach speed, because nothing travels that fast from continent to continent.
Yeah.
It takes hours to get from America to Europe. So how you coming all the way from Russia in 13 minutes unless they're using, high propelled fusion and nuclear reaction power, which in turn creates Mach speed.
Yep. And China got that hypersonic missile. So they're not playing. And then they got missiles that can move, they can maneuver. You got like heat-seeking missiles, and
guided
different
system.
missiles. Yeah, guided, yep. So these missiles, you ain't gonna just shoot them down out the sky, because they can maneuver. And the Lord is gonna be controlling those missiles, because in Joel, the 2nd chapter, it tells you that they shall not. Matter of fact, you can hold that as well. But before you keep reading, what was it? Isaiah, the weapons of the Lord's indignation.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16.
Because the scripture says precept must be upon precept, right? So when you explain the scriptures, when you explain the prophecies, you got to get one precept, and then you got to get another precept that backs it up or explains what this is talking about. It's like a puzzle. You got to get the different pieces to get the whole picture. So get that.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
Now, a smith, when you go into it, a smith, in essence, is like a workman. And he specializes in a specific craft. You have blacksmiths, silversmiths, ironsmiths, locksmiths. And what do? They make and repair and specialize in these things. These smiths that it's talking about here are not talking about like a ironsmith. These are talking about scientists. These nuclear physicists, these nuclear scientists, those that put together, the different elements in the form of nuclear missiles, because these missiles are really elements that are put together. Certain elements are able to hold, and upon impact, they separate or they split, and they cause an explosion. Okay? So, as it says, read that part again. It
says, behold, I have created the smith.
I have created the smith. Now, the smith we know are people, right? but they're these scientists. Now, there's different types of creation, right? I thought that was Elon Musk. Different types of creation. You created a smith, which is meaning like you created the human, but you can also create a smith by exposing certain scientists to certain knowledge, by revealing certain things to them, right? Because now you've created a nuclear scientist by, for example, when you go to college, right? You go to college and you major in a certain course or whatnot. At the end of it, if you want to become a CIA agent, whatever, a nurse or a doctor, you've technically created a doctor because you went in there as just a regular man or a regular woman, and by learning these things, you became a doctor, right? So a doctor has been created out of you. So in essence, the Lord created these smiths, these scientists, by putting it into their mind the understanding of how to manipulate these elements to form these missiles, these weapons of mass destruction.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
Right, that blow up the coals in the fire, which in the ancient world, that's what they would actually do, right? Go on. Sometimes you would have the fan that they would use to keep the fire, because a lot of smiths would work with fire, right? With heat. Go on.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Now, can we look up? That's all right. An instrument. Look up the word instrument. See if you can find it in the online etymology dictionary. But as it says that bringing forth an instrument for his work, for whose work? The Most High's work. Because the Most High created the smith. So an instrument is going to be used to bring forth the work of the Most High. Now, what work do you think is going to be done with nuclear missiles? Destruction. And that's written all in the scriptures. So World War III is prophetic. The design, the setup, all of these things is all written in here. Let me know if you find anything. If there's nothing good in the online etymology, then look it up in regular Google. The second chapter. Huh? An instrument. Just anything, whatever they tell us on that.
Right? This is
but not yet.
Okay.
Because basically, I mean, an instrument is just like a tool that's used to perform something, right? You have musical instruments, which are tools that you can play music by using. You need the instruments to play the music, right? A guitar, a piano, a keyboard, whatever the case may be, right? So you have certain instruments that are used to accomplish certain tasks. They're like helper tools. That's pretty much all that would be, right? So it says that do what?
And that
instrument, musical instrument, mechanical apparatus for producing musical sounds, tool and implement, means furtherance, apparatus, furniture.
There you go. So it's a tool that's necessary to help you accomplish a certain task, right? So you got a frying pan, right? You got cooking instruments, cooking utensils.
This is the Google definition of instrument. A tool or implement, especially one for delicate or scientific work.
So there you go, right? So now let's read back in Isaiah 54. So the Lord made these smiths, these scientists, in Daniel 12 and 4. In Daniel 12 and 4, it tells you about how knowledge is going to increase in these last days. Go on. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
I'll read again. Isaiah 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that blow up the coals in the fire.
That blow up the coals in the fire. Go on.
And that bring forth an instrument for his work.
So the instrument is the tool for the Lord's work. And now if the Lord's work is nuclear destruction, what's the tool for nuclear destruction? Nuclear weapons, right? So that instrument is the nuclear weapons. Go on.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
And what is the waster? The waster is the nuclear missiles. So how did the Lord create the waster? He needs to create the smith. And then the smith created the waster. So technically the Lord created a waster to do what? To destroy. So these nuclear weapons that they have, what's the point of having nuclear weapons? They can't be destroyed. So they got to be used. So as it says, I created
The ways to destroy, is there more on that? No. All right. Okay. So going back to Isaiah 13, the weapons of the Lord's indignation are those nuclear missiles. Go on.
To destroy the whole land.
And that's how you know it's talking about Babylon, because this North America is going to be made a desert completely in 1 hour. Okay. Ancient Babylon the whole land was not destroyed. It's still inhabited. Go ahead.
How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
This is why when we brought out earlier in Amos, it said, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Because it's going to come as a destruction from the Almighty. So the Most High is pissed off, and he has every right to be pissed off. Like you said, people are tempting the Most High daily, hourly, secondly. And the Most High is going to bring judgment. What?
Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
Meaning you're not going to have power. You're not going to have any ideas. You're not going to be innovative. You're not going to think of a plan in these times. You're going to be crippled with fear. You're going to be paralyzed with fear. You're not going to be able to do anything to avoid these judgments. Because your heart, the word heart there in the Hebrew is lav, which means your mind. And when something melts, it denatures, it becomes weak. Okay? And what causes things to melt? Heat and fire. And that's what the Lord is bringing.
Key elements in which relates to the thermonuclear warfare and the destruction is key points that should let you know that what else destruction or whatever weapons of indignation does things like that, that melts things away or disintegrate or causes the earth to shake and all that, You're not gonna come with no bullets, but those could be repelled. You got bulletproof vests, all type of things.
Right.
Bulletproof steel.
Go ahead, Alpha. Yeah, so going into that melting, the ex-Russian President Medvedev just mentioned that basically the conflict in Ukraine is going to lead to, which is basically a proxy war between America and Russia. And they know that America's giving them a ton of money. So he said that that's going to be the prologue to WW3. And he said that basically their earth will literally burn, their concrete will melt, and they will harvest, what did he say? They will harvest their grief in full. And this is like not no low-level Russian. He was the prime minister at one point, president at one point. So he mentioned Revelation 9 and 18, which mentioned about the third part being killed. So they already know, and they watch these videos, all these elites, man. And they see that clearly, even they can see that Revelation 9 and all these scriptures that we're going into concerning destruction is talking about the missiles, thermonuclear Armageddon. So if they can see it, why is the everyday person? Because they don't want to face reality that this is even a possibility. We know it to be true. It's 100% going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Right. To add on to what the brother was saying, this got chapter 9, verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. That's how ancient war was fought. The men would have swords, they slash each other, and then the blood would get on the garments and all that. But it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And that's talking about this time period, which is World War II, which is coming upon us. And I believe that guy, I seen a video, brother, he said, that guy Medvedev, he said, the concrete shall melt. I think he said something like that.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And then also to show you how they know in the movies, if you watch Godzilla, the second one, what was it called? It was when he fought King Ghidorah or whatever. And in order to revive Godzilla, to strengthen him up, they had to blow up a nuclear bomb on him. Oh, right. And when he became nuclear Godzilla, he got charged up with nuclear energy, right? And when he was walking through the city, just like how the scripture say, the elements shall melt, you saw it literally, like you said, what was the word you just used? Nature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just literally melted like into this liquid as he passed by the building. Watch it, like when he's watch it, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, final battle. As you see him, like when he charges up, he's like red, and when he has full with the nuclear energy, everything that Godzilla passed by just melts.
That's why I said the element itself melt with fervent heat. Like you mentioned, a hot night is fun.
Right. And Nyc believe that too because they trying to prep themselves with $1 million bunkers and all that. So they know what the scriptures is to speak is the truth, even though it's of no avail to them because if the nukes don't get you, the mighty one's gonna get you. That's why Isaiah is bringing out prophecy beyond prepared. Like there's no escaping it. Continuing on, you got verse 8, and it says, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be afraid. The scriptures say that the righteous shall be quiet for fear of people. Because to feel the earth shaking like an earthquake, to hear, the nuclear missiles are not going to be quiet or silent. To hear that when you're going to hear the loud boom, bang from the missiles hitting, sirens and alarms going off left and right, cars crashing, windows shattering, people screaming, earth shaking, ground breaking, pay-per-view making. You know what I mean? It's going to be intense, and people are going to be afraid. They're going to be beyond afraid. People are going to be dropping dead because it's going to be too much. It's too much going on at once.
Hey, I work right across the street from the runway, the Guardia runway, and when the airplane is in slow motion, just the activation of when they put the key in the ignition and start their engine is a sonic boom that's terrifying, bro. It feels like it's like I got a steel table and it rumbles everything on the table and it feels like somebody just dropped a bomb. And it's just the ignition igniting. It's just like boom, and then it just starts making that whisper because it's getting ready to take off. But that initial boom, yo, bro, if that's just a jumbo jet, that's minute compared to a nuke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just imagine when the nuke hit, you're gonna be in different countries and hear that shit in America.
That's why the Lord's gonna take us like up. That's the only way to go. You know, literally out of this atmosphere.
Yeah. Preacher. Luke 21:26. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
So men's hearts, once again, their minds, you're gonna have people passing out and people dropping dead because it's gonna be so fearful the things that are gonna be happening on the earth very soon. You know, it's the people are not built, especially these people, they're not built to handle that. Their minds are not built to be able to endure hardness, you know, to witness these sights. They're not built for that, you know. So you're gonna have a lot of people dropping dead, dying. Then Lord be like, nah, get your ass back down there. Judgment ain't over, you know.
Yeah, because I was meditating on that last night, and when you think about, look how society is built, where you have the comfort. I believe that's in the scripture. Right now. I think it might be Isaiah, the city that dwelt without care, and that this is that place in America that dwelt without care because what? I walk on.
No, that's the thing. I'm just out.
But yeah, this place is what people are careless in this place. They're far with how things are here because what they can just walk about and go how they please. Like think about it, right? You have your normal day of work. You have your normal routine of how things go. But imagine if you like late to work. See how people get crazy. Oh, why am I spending traffic all this type of stuff? They go crazy for that. So imagine when the Lord puts his like monkey wrench into people's plans and he starts bringing prophecy heavy and heavy when things aren't normally happening, when things aren't going the way it's supposed to. Imagine how these people are going to freak out because look how people freak out from just things not going to their way on a normal day, their normal routine. How much more when bodies start dropping, animals start popping up out of nowhere, you might start seeing demons and things like that. If you can't handle a normal day of being stuck in traffic or somebody messing with your job, how much more the day of the Lord?
And that's why it says a time like never before, you know.
All right. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, but with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners therefore thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light.
Right. So, but it says what? He's going to destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So this shows you that the laws of the Bible are not done away with. People say, "Oh God, Jesus did away with the law," and you know what they'll say? He came to but he fulfilled the law. Do you understand what the word "fulfill" means? And do you even understand what that statement meant? He fulfilled the law, and that's their justification. In other words, now we don't got to keep the laws anymore. Since when does fulfilling the law mean you don't got to keep the laws anymore? First off, what he fulfilled were the prophecies that were written of him, and out of his own mouth, he said, "I have come not to destroy the law nor the prophets." All right, but to fulfill, meaning to. That's why when he went into synagogue, he said, like, one of the things that he did was he read the scripture and he said, "This day in your ears has this prophecy been fulfilled." Yeah, you know. So the Lord's job was to come and do what was written of him. He didn't come to. He said out his own mouth. He didn't come to destroy. He said, "Heaven and earth may pass, but one jot or one tittle is not going to pass from the scriptures. In essence, it's going to be here forever." So, what is a sinner? A sinner is one that sins. What is sin? 1 John 3 and 4, the transgression of the law. Where there is no law, there is no sin. How can there be a sinner if there is no sin? And how can there be sin if there is no law? So if there's a sinner, then there's sin. And if there's sin, then there's a law. So if in the prophecy of the Lord's return, sinners are going to begin destroyed, that means that the law is still in effect, even in this time. Go on. Here it is. They'll say the laws are done away with, but they'll collect tithes. Hold up. Tithing is in the law. So how can the law be done away with, but you collecting tithes from people? So you picking and choosing. Go on.
All right. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
And yeah, go, and ultimately you're gonna have, that's gonna be literal, because when the missiles fly, it's gonna block out the sun for a certain period of time. The chariots are also gonna block it out, but it's also on the spiritual level, the represented knowledge and wisdom being, like it says in Second Esdras, the 5th chapter, wit and understanding shall withdraw itself into his secret chambers, and shall be sought of many and not be found. Go on.
And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity.
So the world is evil right now. They're doing a lot of wicked things. I mean, that's just facts. If you come and say the world is not evil, then you're evil. Because you mean to tell me all the things going on in the world right now, the things that are being permitted, things that are being promoted, that's not evil? That's not against the scriptures? The Lord is with that? Then you need to go back and read the Torah again. All right? But the Most High is not with it. The abominations upon abominations are being committed daily. And the Most High, he's unhappy with that. He's going to punish the world because of that.
The now you got living in, man, it's like wool being pulled over your head.
Right. I told you that in Isaiah 61 or 60. Oh, it says that gross darkness the people.
Yeah.
On.
Right. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
And how's that going to happen? By way of the destruction. That's what's going to humble the pride of these people. That's when they're going to calm down and realize, yo, we shouldn't have been playing games, man. We should have taken this very seriously, because this is very serious. What?
I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
This is referring to a man of the Lord. And this also goes in line with Isaiah 32 and 2. All right, a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest. Meaning the destruction that's coming, whether it be troops or, just dangerous or whatever, the Lord is going to equip the men of the Lord to be protected and to be able to protect those that are with them. So that's why a man is going to be like a hiding place, a place where you can get cover and safety from. And that's going to make men more precious than fine gold. All right, that safety and being able to provide, all right, as it says in Isaiah 4:1. As it says in Isaiah 4:1, that 7 women shall take hold of one man. Now, when you read it, it tells you why, right? this has to take away our reproach. Meaning that they're going to be ashamed, that they're going to be in straits in difficult times, that they're going to be seeking a man of the Lord to help them and protect them and cover them. So when the Lord said he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, that's talking about a man of the Lord, not just any man, all right, but a man of the Lord.
Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
Meaning that you're gonna go with a man of the Lord over a gold, which is just another way of saying that he's comparing the value. All right, the value increase. Like when you have economic turmoil, you have the price of gold and silver skyrocket based on the situation that's going on. Well, the Lord is going to tailor this situation where the value of men of the Lord is going to skyrocket. Right? And you got people that they come against the men of the Lord. You got people that, they don't want to be men of the Lord. Guess what? When that time comes, everybody's going to want to be a prophet. Everybody's going to want to be one of those believers. But it's going to be too late. Like, what's his name? Was it Simon? When on the apostles got spiritual power, he basically tried to pay them for that spiritual power. I believe that's Acts 13. He tried to pay them for the spiritual power, and Peter cursed them out. All right.
Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place.
Which is going to be basically the movement of the earth based on the force of those missiles hitting and the destruction and the lasers from the chariots. It's going to cause the earth to literally shake. Go on.
And the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
So the Most High is pissed off. He's not happy right now. He's not happy with the world right now. He's not happy with the condition of the world right now. And he's getting ready to bring judgment. And people don't fear. They don't fear the Lord, but they're going to find out the hard way.
Right.
The Lord got something for everybody.
And it shall be as the chaste robe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Yeah, he got something for the ladies. He got something for the streets. He got something for the ladies in the streets. That's an inside joke. It's from the Bulldogs. It's a good show. Yeah. But yeah, read that part again.
And it shall be as the chaste robe.
And
as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Yeah, and a roe is like a deer, right? And as a chaste roe, I believe when you actually go into that word, I forgot what the word was, but what's that? Isaiah 13, right?
Yeah, verse 14.
Right. This is Isaiah 13 and 14, and when you go into the word chaste, it says here, the doc, it says to thrust away, to banish, impel, banish, to thrust away, chased, hunted. So what happens when a deer is eaten? They end up wherever they're eating. You know what they do? They eat. Every few seconds, they look up. They look around. And if one is eating, the other's looking. And they're alert because of predators. So the second they hear like the slightest sound, they are out like a chased rope. And they are fast, okay? Even cheetahs don't always catch them. It's funny because we always focus on cheetahs, but the animals that are running away from them are even faster. You got to think about it, huh? Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, the bush rabbits. Rabbits are fast as shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you got to think about it, right? Like, hold up, the cheetah's so fast. But yeah, he's having a hard time catching this. How fast is this animal? That's why King David said, he made my feet like hinds feet. Go
on. A chase robe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
So in essence, when this thing hits the fan, people are going to be scattering every which way. They're going to be dipping, jumping over trash cans, jumping under cars, jumping over people. A good example is in the movie Titanic. In the movie Titanic, when the Titanic hit the iceberg, and they started dropping the lifeboats on the side, man, you should have seen how people running up and down on the ship, pushing people. Get the hell out of my way. You had this one dude. He was out because the boat was supposed to be for women and children first. He said, man, get that shit out of here. He's pushing people out the way. He's jumping up. He's dead. He's like, I'm getting my ass on that boat. He took one of the life vests. He said, man, you don't need that shit. Give me that. But the point is, you had people when they got in the water, you had people dunking other people's heads down so that they could come up. You know, so it was all scattering and scrambling everywhere. And that's what's gonna happen when this thing goes down. It's like if a shooting takes place in a public area, the way people react, sometimes people forget that they with others. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, actually I do. Job 2:5 and Job 2:4, and Satan answered the Lord and said, "Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life." Going into the point, man will give anything for his life. When it comes down to life or death situation, people will do things that normally that you would say, oh, they would never do something like that. They'll dump their baby off, dump the husband would dump the wife, dump the whole family, and he's climbing over the fence to try to escape, not giving a shit, because in those times, that's why it's called the hour of temptation, right? Because the whole world is going to be tried, and there's going to be different temptations that's going to come ultimately with that charagma.
Yep.
Chip, you know.
Right. Yeah, you see that, right? Because calamity, adversity, it changes people, and it also shows true colors. In the TV show The Walking Dead, when you watch through, there's a character, Shane. He was the best friend or the best friend of Rick. And it got to a certain part where I think Shane and one of the other dudes from the camp had to go on a hunt to get like resources and stuff. And so they each went, and they knew it was gonna be dangerous because there's gonna be mad zombies in that building. So they went in there, and then it's crazy. On their way back, I think they each had a bag, and they both could have made it. But when Shane came back, he told the story as if the other guy was like, "Nah, we ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna sacrifice myself, and you go ahead." But in reality, he said he looked at the guy, shot the guy in the leg to buy himself more time, took the bag, heard the guy crying for help, and said, "Fuck that shit," and then jumped the whatever and left and came back. So in those times, you can see people change, and even Rick, from season 1 to whatever current season they're on right now, Rick is a completely different person. If you see him in the latest season, you're like, yo, this guy's heartless. Like he's cold. But in the beginning, he was the one who was always trying to, ration, like, no, we don't gotta do it this way. Everybody calm down. Let's try to save everybody. Then he lost his wife, and then the rest of the stuff and so on and so forth. But he just became numb.
Yeah, the love of many shall wax cold. Yep.
Right. Right. And you're gonna see it in real life, the real life edition. Right. Got it.
They shall
15?
yeah, I'm still in 14.
Okay.
They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land.
Yeah, because ultimately, man, that's by nature, right? You know that saying, birds of a feather flock together. But by nature, people stick to their own kind. It reminded me of this video that the other Yashmama put up on his Two Through an Info page, and it's called Hurry Up and Buy. You basically got Jake in the store, and you got this Moabite woman in the aisle, and I think she works at the store, right? And she's looking at him, and she's standing back close. She's looking at him, and he's like, "Yo," "What's up with you, man? I'm just trying to buy." She's like, "There's no more, there's no more than what you're looking for." So basically, her point is, "There's no more. Why are you still here? You know what I mean? Just leave." And he's like, "Yo, fuck wrong with you, man? Just back up. I'm looking at the shirt to see what I want." She's like, "You fuck you." He's like, you know what I'm saying? But the point is that they don't mingle with you. Everybody sticks to their own kind, even now. So how much more for when things hit the fan? When things hit the fan, if you see one neighborhood where Jake is at versus the neighborhood where Edom is at, you ain't gonna go to the neighborhood where Edom is at. You're gonna go with Jake, because even if you don't know any of the two of them, you can bond more easily with one because they're just like you than the other. As a matter of fact, there was a movie. Oh man, if only I could remember the name. It was a movie with Issacharites in there, and they didn't have like working papers, so they were looking for a job. And this woman, she came. I think she's the Edomite woman. She came. She picked them up, took them to her house. Man, that shit turned into something worse than a Get Out movie. Like they did their job. It was just her at first. And she would be doing some weird shit, dressing all weird, like to try to subdue some type shit. This woman was a straight demon, man. It got to a point where she freaking I think she dug a pit or some shit and just threw them in there. Like when the sun started going down, because they were deep in some Edomite neighborhood where you got to go through the road paths, you know, that shit. They deep in there. This bitch done locked the shit up with an electric fence and all that. Now they can't leave. They trapped in there. Then her husband came out. They had shotguns and shit. You know what I mean? I mean, it was bad. One of the workers got injured, you know, while working, and they're like, "Yo, you know, can we get like some you know, something to help them out?" She's like, "Man, you ain't getting shit. We'll go back to work." I mean, it turned into some horror movie type shit.
I hope you remember the name of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see.
Mexican Get Out.
I mean, yeah, like, it was like that. It was like that. Yeah. But I'm gonna ask Ahmed because I watched it with him, and if I remember, I put it in the chat, man. But it was an interesting movie. But it shows you like, yo, you don't, especially in those times, man. Because in those times, that's when Esau's true nature comes out. You don't mess around, man. The scriptures tell you never trust thine enemy. Go on.
It's a new movie coming out called American Resident.
Mm.
And it's a black family that's fleeing to their neighbor's house where it's Esau. They got a doomsday bunker and all that. And when they get over to them, the father always was already displaying prejudice, racial energy, intent. Like, but it was Esau's family who wanted to help the black family, so they did. But when shit hit the fan, they started to show that they was really like for their family and was willing to body the Jake family that was they was having shelter with them. So it's gonna be like a big suspenseful, action-packed Jake against Esau type movie in the last thing.
Yeah, like in the first Purge movie, not the movie with the title The First Purge, but the first movie, the first Purge movie that came out. Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
That one showed you that because you had a Jake that was running away from Edomites, and you had another Edomite family that took him in, and you had Esau basically pull up at the door, you know, basically threatening them, right? Like you don't bring out the swine, right? That demonic Edomite looking face. He's like, if you don't bring out the swine, we're gonna bring our basically our backup, and we're gonna pull down your defenses, and we're coming and we're taking everybody out. And they did, you know. But it's interesting because that Jake that they helped, he ended up, you know, every basically like every purge, he was in charge of this group that would like help people, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, you go ahead.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined onto them shall fall by the sword.
There you go. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined onto them shall fall by the sword, because there's going to be no mercy in that time. And that's what's coming. And that's what all these events you're seeing is going to lead up to. The time of full force Jacob's trouble, violence, murder, no mercy, brutality, fatalities. It's gonna be gruesome, man. And we keep on warning you because it's so important. When that time comes, man, whatever differences you have, it ain't gonna matter. I believe this. I believe. Well, you gonna see what's in front of you, and you're gonna have to deal with that. But
their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
And imagine that. I mean, you know, when you may not think it, but the second you have a child, your whole mentality changes. It's funny how that works. I don't know. Don't ask me because I don't have kids. But so you already know.
Sure.
It's like it's you probably never expected to feel that way before, and then it's like all of a sudden something just changed. It's like, yo, like my life ain't even my life anymore. It's like it's all about, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta protect this child at all costs. So that pain, like you don't even want to hear anything remotely close to harm or danger coming to them, discomfort, disease, none of that stuff. So now imagine parents having to see their children dashed to pieces before them. If you even heard something happen to your child, you drop everything and go check up on them. Now imagine being there and being powerless to see harm coming to your child. And the Lord is going to be doing that. A lot of these people, they don't consider these things. See, when you talk shit about the Most High, you don't consider when he gets you back. the Most High can get you back in a very painful way. Imagine being a man, you don't talk all this shit, and now the time of trouble comes, and you are powerless. 3 dudes pull up to your crib and handcuff you, and then they violate your wife and your daughter and your son and whatnot, and then they kill them in front of you and leave you alive for a little bit longer to stretch out the agony before they let you die. You know, people don't think about the Lord. The Lord is in control of that. And at that point, you probably freaking break your arm if you could, just to do something, but you can't. The Lord is going to keep you powerless, and He's going to have you witness it so that you can suck. That the point of it is to suffer that agony. And here it is, they calling for your help because they're looking at you like, yo, you're supposed to be their protector and defender, and you can't do shit. That pain, man. See, people don't know it. That's why the Lord is the King of terrors, man. The Lord ain't got no limits. There's no limits that the Lord doesn't cross because He's the one who sets the limits. So there's no such thing. You know, people, oh, yo, chill out, yo, that's too much. Nah, you OD. There ain't no such thing. And this time the Lord said He's not going to have mercy. What?
Their houses shall be spoiled.
Hey, man, that's a fearful thing. That's a very fearful thing. That's why we always pray to the Lord to have mercy on us and our loved ones, man, because the things that you're going to be witnessing, you're gonna hope and pray it never even comes close to you. You know, certain judgments the Lord is going to be giving out, it's going to put more fear in your mind of the Lord, but it's going to make you grateful that the Lord, you know what I mean, the Lord is with you. Go on.
And their wives ravaged.
And their wives ravaged, which is great. Their wives are going to be lain with against their will. Imagine that. For the men and the women, it's going to be hell. Okay? To know that, or for the women to go through that, that's what's coming. I forgot what movie. Oh, it was the movie with Denzel Washington, The Book of Eli.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where the man and the woman, I guess they fell for a trap or whatever the case was, and they shot the man, and it was just a woman. And she was trying to run. It's like 5 dudes on the motorcycle and shit. And she's trying to run, and they done circled her and everything. Where are you going? You know? And at that moment, when she sees that, imagine this woman been with this man. He's been protecting her the whole entire time. Any harms that came, and I mean, he's just a regular man, but he does his best to fend off the dangers, right? And then she gets to a part where anything that happens, she runs to him and he gets shot. Right in that moment when reality sets in that, oh shit, my shield and protection is gone. It's just me, and these are all predators that are looking at me. She's done. There's nothing she can do. She can't fight them. She can't run. She's done, literally. You don't want to find yourself in that position. Well, right. But a lot of women are going to find themselves in that position. It's likely.
Right. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them,
right,
which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
And in this verse, like I mentioned, it's prophetic. The Medes in this verse is referring to the Russians. Okay, the modern day Russians, and you can already see the spirit that Russia's in. Russia's in the spirit of war. Okay, so as it says, I will stir up, pursuant to Ezekiel 38 as well. The Lord said He's going to put hooks back into the jaws of Gog and Magog. He's going to turn them, right? So He's going to stir up the Medes, meaning He's going to trigger them into warlike mode. What's that? Joel, I believe either the 2nd or the 3rd chapter, around the 9th verse or so, it talks about wake up the mighty men, prepare war. So that's what's coming. So that's what the Lord is doing. That's why He has it in Putin's mind to go up into you. I mean, Putin got to the point where he said, look, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna just go in there right now. Forget what the world thinks, forget all of that. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm going up and invading, because basically the mindset is, if it comes down to where you're threatening us, our safety, then forget it. So the Lord has stirred up and triggered them to do what?
Their bows shall trigger them. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces.
So it says they shall not regard silver nor what?
Oh yeah, or as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Right, meaning that these trade deals, these agreements, these peace treaties and all of that, it's not going to work. World War III is going to take place. It's going to pop off. And the lines are being drawn, right? Here it is. We're telling you these things are going to happen. People don't believe us, but then it's going to happen and they're going to see it and act surprised. First off, we told you Iran was going to be on the side of Russia. It's prophetic. Iran, Russia, Turkey, you know, China, some Ethiopia, they're going to be on the same side. And now They're saying Iran is officially joining BRICS. China is down with Iran. Russia is down with them. Turkey is now on the side of Russia, and the U.S. and UK are saying they're gonna put pressure on Turkey to enforce those same sanctions against Russia. But Turkey's like, nah, I'm not interested in doing that. Turkey is already having ruffles with some of these European nations, Greece, Sweden, and all of them. So the lines are being drawn, and you're going to see it. Before you know it, it's going to be solidified that divide, you're going to have Iran, Russia, China, Turkey, they're all going to be on the same side. All right? They're all going to be on the same side. And they're going to come against the West. And economically and physically, politically, all of it. Go on.
Verse 18. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces.
Which the bows represents the silos that the missiles are going to come out of. Okay? So when it says their bows, the silos ain't going to be the ones that dash them to pieces, because it's like saying that I'm going to kill you with my gun. The gun is not actually what kills you, it's the bullet that comes out of the gun. But yet you say he shot him with his gun, right? So the bows are going to dash them to pieces, not the actual bows, but what comes out the bows, which are the silos, the missiles. Go on.
Dash the young men into pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb.
Yeah, and the young men, the men of war, those that are going to be drafted for war, and those that are going to be left remaining in the land. You send somebody over there to the Middle East, when they get drafted for war, they're going to become one with the earth. They're going to learn about Mother Nature on a personal level. And those that are here are going to be melted as well. And it says what? The children, the fruit of the womb, which are children, they're not going to care. See, when they shoot the missiles, they're not going to stop and say, oh, hold on, wait. There's children over there. No, don't shoot the missiles. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to shoot the missiles anyway. Because when they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they didn't say, hold on one second. They got kids over there. Let's not do that. That's the last thing they were thinking about. Go on.
Their eyes shall not spare children.
Why? Because the Lord is going to put the spirit on them, because they have to fulfill prophecy.
In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, the excellency shall be as when God, Yahweh, overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
So Babylon, the glory of kingdom, which is America, the beauty of the Chaldees, which the Chaldees were the upper class of the Babylonians, okay, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did the Most High overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? He destroyed it with fire and brimstone. Right. And then what was left of it? It was completely done. So that's the same thing that's going to happen in this place. The Lord is going to destroy it with fire and brimstone, known as the modern day nuclear missiles that are going to happen. Right? Quick precept.
Luke 17:28. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
There you go. So like as in those days, so are the days of the Son of Man going to be. Okay? And just like that, Lot was basically delivered by the skin of his teeth. Right when the Lord took him out, he destroyed that place. So that's what's going to happen in this time. Right as the elect get delivered, this place is going to begin destroyed. Yep. That was on that?
Last verse.
All right.
Luke 17:30. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
Go. Perfect precept to back up what we read in Isaiah. Right?
It's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 23.
So you got a lot of prophecies in the book of Isaiah. So how can you say that you people act as though the Old Testament is done away with? These things haven't been fulfilled. Right? The Lord said all is going to be fulfilled. These prophecies have not been fulfilled. And they're going to happen. We're literally telling you the future of this place, of the world. World War III is coming, and it's biblical, and we're warning you, but people walk around like acting like they don't live on the American soil. And yet we're telling you that America is going to be destroyed according to biblical prophecy in this Third World War. And okay. All right. But when they see the missiles coming, they're going to be in a whole different energy. Crying, they're going to run out of tears to cry.
This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 23. I will also make it a possession for the bitter and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction,
which is going to be that lake of fire, sweeping the whole country, going from one end to the other, melting everything in its path.
Saith the Lord of hosts.
Go.
Actually, verse 24. The Lord of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so it shall come to pass.
So this is the Lord's thoughts. You can't get mad at us. We're reading straight out the book. What's so evil about what we're doing? We come out here, ain't nobody that we bothering or provoking. We're literally opening the scriptures and we're teaching out the scriptures as the Lord commanded us to do. What's so bad about that? Why can't we do? Well, you got people that wake up on Saturdays and they go and huddle and they go and sell drugs. You got people that go on Saturdays, they go to the club. You got people that go and they meet and they do whatever they're gonna do. Well, this is what we do. What's the problem? But now you got to think deeper, right? Wait, hold on. Why are they a hate group if they're teaching out the scriptures? All they're doing is reading verses from the Bible and explaining it. And yet we're saying that these guys are the worst people in existence. How so?
And you will have to call this book a hate book. But y'all use this book to govern y'all nation.
Oh, they say this.
Y'all saying God we trust, even though we know y'all not talking about the Lord of the Bible, but y'all use this book in so many references to give y'all some type of moral standard of how society should be. But y'all saying that this book is a hateful book because it ain't our words, we read in verbatim.
Yep.
All right, so y'all saying that the words of this book is hateful,
right.
Not us. So you're contradicting yourself if you follow this book, Deacon Demon or Pastor Pork Chop. You follow this book, but you want to call the words out of this shit hateful. I mean, not out of this shit, but out of this book hateful. So you are walking contradiction when y'all always trying to catch us on a contradiction in this book. We don't fall behind. We don't fall victim to that. Y'all do because y'all go every Sunday and preach to y'all congregation out this book.
Right.
But y'all rejected some of the verses in here.
Right.
Like Isaiah, the whole chapter of Isaiah. Y'all probably don't even go on Isaiah 13. Y'all don't go on Isaiah 47 or Obadiah.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So y'all being demons, serpents for hiding the truth of this book.
Yep.
Y'all only going to the prosperity chapters. All right. So when you calling us hateful, man, I'd rather be considered called hateful if I'm doing my job as far as reading out of this book than be considered called a damn snake in the grass by hiding the word of this book.
Right. Quick point. It's just showing you because if the Lord himself mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah, laying backing off the brother's point, that's not this Jesus character that everybody talking about. Right. Because Jesus isn't going to make a destruction like Sodom and Gomorrah when he comes back. Right. That's Yahushua. They don't know the Son of God. They think they do. No, but clearly we just made a reference from Luke 17 to Isaiah 13, Sodom and Gomorrah being mentioned, which is a fiery destruction. So clearly part of the gospel is destruction and vengeance. Right. But that's the part that they neglect. But the scripture says you got to eat the whole roll. That means you got to, from Genesis to Revelation, the Apocrypha included, you got to take the whole thing. You can't take it or leave it. You can't take some and then, no. Most I ain't dealing with partiality. He's dealing with 100%. You deal with the whole book or you don't deal with it at all. And the Most High is going to judge you for that because you're taking away from the word or you're adding to the word.
Right. Modern day Babylon is mentioned as being Sodom and Egypt.
Sodom and Egypt. Yep.
Okay, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So it's no coincidence that he's mentioning Sodom and Gomorrah in Isaiah 13, but he also mentions it as being spiritual Sodom and Egypt.
Right.
And both of them were destroyed.
That's right. That's right. Now, before you finish, you got to
what he said. This is Jeremiah 1:9. It says, then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. Verse 10, see, I have set thee this day over, sorry, let me read that. Verse 10, see, I have this day set thee over nations and over kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. So the Lord is the one that put his words in our mouth, just like he put in Jeremiah. And when Jeremiah went to the people and spoke the message, Jeremiah wasn't speaking out of his own mouth, he was speaking from the word. That's what I said. And the word of the Lord came unto Jeremiah. And And the word of the Lord came unto Ezekiel, and the word of the Lord came unto Isaiah. It came from the Lord. And the prophet gave the message of it.
That's all it is. And it's as simple as that. The Lord commands us. I mean, the prophets of old have been doing it. And then now we're here. And the Lord said, look, this is what I command you to do. So this is what we do. That's it. And this is what we believe. And how is it everybody's entitled to their belief but us? You see the problem with this world? And why are you so concerned with us? Worry about yourself. We're not coming for you. You're trying to come for us. But the problem is, the Lord said, touch not mine anointing and do my prophets no harm. So you messing with the wrong powers, because the Most High is going to give you a reaction you need to go read the book of Maccabees and learn about what happens in Heliodorus.
But that was on that. Yeah, because first point, because think about it. You're touching something that the Lord delights in. It's like he has an eye on that. So it's like, I like this. I like how he does my thing. I like how he serves me, all that. And then imagine you're taking something away from the Lord, and you like either put them to death, kill them, or something. So it's like, yo, who are you to take away something that I delight in? Who are you to take away something that I love? So it's like, yo, I want for that.
Right. I was going to say too, referencing what the brother Bakar just said, this society you could identify as a multi-sexual unicorn submarine, but if you want to say you're an Israelite, a son of God, that's hateful. What is that? You can't do that. So it's like they want you to be anything but righteous in this wicked ass world. That's why the Lord is going to burn it with fire.
You're right. You're right. All right. So let's finish up tonight too.
All right. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it, this is verse 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
We're just talking about this land that people are standing on right now. That means that, so that's the thing. People think this place has a long future ahead of it. World War III is getting ready to pop up. People don't pay attention to the news. And then they act so surprised. But when it comes, they're not going to have any way out. You ain't going to be able to go to McDonald's and then go watch, I don't know, put on a Netflix show and call it a night. That's not going to happen. Okay? The day is going to come, as it says in Malachi 4:1, that shall burn as an oven, and you're going to burn with it. Like in the movie scene from Terminator, what's it, 2? Judgment Day? When she was holding the fence and the fire was burning her and she was feeling all of that, the Lord said he's going to do that to you. Ezekiel, I think 22 or so, it mentions the Lord is going to melt you and leave you there and melt you. So don't, all right, man, we're going to do our job, but when the time comes when the Lord says your job is done, that's it. Don't expect mercy, because why? What you want us to do for you? Even right now, the only thing we can do is give you the message. That's it.
That's why I make the point. Look at it. Some of these people have headphones in the ear. Some of them, I can see that they have one headphone in and one headphone out. And when they pass by, I can see they can hear you. They can listen to what you're saying. You're not saying nothing crazy, because, like, look at what's going on. Even when the news talks about the tension between America and Russia, and this could boil over into nuclear war. So it's like, y'all can hear what the hell we're saying. I'm not trying to curse, but y'all can hear us. Y'all walking by and everything, but y'all don't give a damn. Because why? This world preoccupies your mind with bullshit. They lie to you on the TV, they tell you falsehoods and all that, and you just preoccupy with your little bullshit life. But then when the destruction and the famine and all that hits, then come back, oh, well, what happened? Oh, why is it going on? Like, we were supposed to get into this spread shifting with, what's that, Isaiah 24? It was a 7. There's a cry for wine in the streets. Then that's when they're going to want to know what's going on, what's happening, why is all this. But we were telling y'all this, and some of y'all were walking by all this, like we was mentioned with going through Isaiah 13, with the ravishing of your wives, the dashing of the kids. You want to see your kids get ravished? You want to see a wife get raped? It's like y'all people don't give a damn over here, man. And then when we speak boldly and get a little irritated, y'all want to say, oh, this is hate speech. Why you getting so mad? Because y'all fucking stupid, man. For real, like, what the hell type of shit is this, man? This place called, oh, the best country in the land, the best this, the best that. This place produces the most stupidest people in the fucking world.
Yeah, right.
Walking fucking zombies. Yeah,
right.
Fucking, my bad. It is you, like, when I first watched the videos, the minute I heard this, Elder Cesaro say, this place gonna be destroyed nuclear, I said, huh?
That's it.
What was that? Hold on, I live on this place.
That's
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Nuclear fire's gonna touch it. Huh? Let me hear that again. And I'm like, I live here. I need to get this because I don't want to be charcoal. I don't want to be burnt up. No, but people hear this and says, oh, whatever. But when you look at the news, they tell you right there in front of you, it's not even, they're not even hiding it no more. Revelation 13:6, they're not hiding it. They don't give a fuck. But you people don't even give a fuck.
I just want to say, today was a so-called nice day, you know, with the sun shining, moderate weather. What it is, in that movie that you was bringing out, bro, when Sarah Connor was standing there, it was a nice day just like today. And it just sprung on them out of nowhere. And this judgment is going to spring on y'all out of nowhere, too. It ain't going to just, some of the prophecies going to come gradually, but when them nukes come, man, you ain't going to have no time to prepare. 13 minutes from Russia to here. What you doing in 13 minutes?
Yep. Yeah, jumping off the brother Shalamar's point. When I first came to the apostles, Elder Manatazak was speaking and they had the sign with the missiles on it. As soon as I seen it, I was like, damn, like this is about to happen here. I was like, in my simplicity, I was like, oh, that's why the apostles go to CT. They're gonna if the bomb drops in NYC, but I was in my simplicity, right. But then I understood like we gotta be straight beamed up out of here. Right. But that's the fear of a man that's meant to receive the word and be drawn in by the word. The fear of the Lord, when you see those judgments, that's why the judgments are there. You're supposed to see it in fear and say, all right, let me repent, let me get right. What is required of me to get in the good graces of the Lord? Right. You know? Yeah. Therefore, knowing the terror for those who persuade men. That's right. So it's good that we preach the fear because that's what gets you right.
They want to work out to salvation.
Because if I may say, with the Most High, right, when people call him God, what favor really, when you think about it, does the Most High have to show you? Right. At all? Like, what makes you think that you could just walk around the earth, do whatever the hell you want, and be untouched? I remember playing Batman Arkham City, right? And like the first 5 minutes of the intro, Hugo Strange captured Bruce Wayne. But in Arkham City, he trapped him. The first thing he told him was, you thought yourself untouchable, but as you can see, no one is untouchable. So it's the same thing. What makes you people think that you can just live your lives like this without any consequence, especially eating like you? I've seen some of y'all walk past here with the most proudest fucking look ever. Just these guys again. I think one of them actually when he passed by, I don't know if you heard him. Okay. Yeah. And it's just you want to live your life like this. And then when we say, hey, there's a judgment for that, you can't live like that. You live your life like that. The Heavenly Father doesn't like that. There's a problem. You have an issue with it. It's like your world just got turned up all upside down. But when you read Genesis 6th chapter, and you go through that, it talks about how man had corrupted the way of the Most High. Y'all corrupting life, man. Y'all not living. I think Ashiar posted in the chat last night. Fucking what's his name? Bobby Shmurda is a fucking booty warrior.
Nah. He's a booty victim. He's a warrior.
Well, he's a warrior now. He might as well. Maybe he was a victim. I
saw that video, yeah.
But now he's a warrior.
And he's on stage doing shit that shouldn't be done. I mean, the second he came out, we already knew. Man, what is that? He said this guy he ain't stopped moving his waist since he came out there.
Yeah. But this man, women love him. This man, everybody he love them. Well, he loves some.
That's America for you though. That's Babylon the Great. Like my man Bane said in Dark Knight, victory has defeated you. Man, like that's America, bro. America has been on top for so long. I think it says on Isaiah 47 that they never thought that they would go through suffering, pain, because when you're on top for that long, victory can really defeat you. Yeah. They had a foot on Jake's neck for so long. It's like, all right, well, the Most High didn't do nothing. So shit, then we must have the green light. Yeah. But they didn't consider the latter end of it, and we're at the latter end of it. You know? Right. That's why it says, back in Isaiah 13, that this land is going to be uninhabitable. There's so much abominations that go on in this place. It's cancerous, and it needs to be taken out.
Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. This is 20 still. Isaiah 13, verse 20. Mm-hmm. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there.
So nobody's going to come here to set up shop, set up a business, to make transactions, none of that stuff. Go on.
But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there.
Because this place is going to be made into a desert. Go on.
And their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
There you go. So all that's going to be left here is going to be unclean spirits, desert animals, and all of that. And as it says here, her time is near to come, meaning the time for these prophecies to be fulfilled, the destruction of this place is near to come, and it shall not be prolonged. This is why people think, oh, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now? Don't stop, all right?
Thinking too far.
Yeah, you're thinking too far. You got to slow down. Look at what's happening in the world right now, and then what do you think is going to happen when World War III pops off? You think there's going to be a 5 to 10 years from now for this place? But people don't think like that. It's like they get in the moment to look at the prophecies, and then they take themselves back out, and then they start thinking like back in the world again. But that's not. This is reality. This ain't an alternative universe. This is reality. But they're gonna find that out the hard way, But yeah, that's pretty much it. Brother, got any other points?
Just to add on what you said, Esau is giving people pretty much the nature of false reality, and that's why I think you mentioned the woman that said earlier, whatever news comes, whatever you hear from us is the truth.
Oh yeah.
That's how they want. Anything that they say is the truth, that's reality. But the scriptures, like you said, is really reality. And that's the thing. People are gonna be forced to deal with it. You're gonna hide from it. You're gonna run from it. I don't want to hear this. Trust me, I've told family members, I don't want to hear that. But you're gonna be forced to deal with Revelation 13 and 16, Isaiah 13 chapter, Isaiah the 24th chapter, Isaiah 34, the 34th chapter, 2 Peter chapter 2 and 3, yeah. When the elements shall melt in fervent heat, like we read earlier. The Most High, this is his purpose. This is his design. This is what he's thought up. You can't sit there and tell the angels, angels, chill. Or go to your house shot. Don't listen to your house. Chill out. Come on. I got kids. I got a future. I'm trying to have a plan for another 5, 10 years. Fuck you. Hell no, nigga.
That's right. Last precept, if I may. Yeah, go.
Zephaniah 1 and 14. The great day of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly.
So just like we just read, man, the day of the Lord is coming, and even those that are considered mighty in this society are going to cry there bitterly because they ain't going to be able to tolerate it. They're not going to be strong. Their might ain't going to save them in that time, And I mean, we're passionate, so that's why we speak the way we do. But as the Apostle Paul said, do I be rude in speech and not in knowledge? When you go to the military and they speak to you however they speak to you, you don't go, oh, well, why are you talking to me that way? You listen to whatever it is they're telling you, you do it anyway. So at the end of the day, that's the message. Destruction is coming, and it's fast at hand, fast approaching. You need to repent. Those don't know, dude.
One last verse. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung.
No, that's the ultimate judgment that's going to come to this place for that disobedience, for that pride, if you don't repent. The only way out of this is through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We're just here to give you the message, whether you will hear or forbear, but time will show you, and you will find out that all these things we've been talking about, they are reality, And when that time comes, you're either going to have it or you're not. So anyway, with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh
Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah B'dash.
Shalom.